everybody. This is my 5th vlog and it's inside of the Perfectly Imperfect Vlogging Challenge that my friend Wei Hung initiated. This is the 8th week and this is my 5th video, so I'm planning to crank out a few more videos this week so I can fulfill the challenge. And you know, it's nice to take a video diary every once in a while because I always want to write in a journal, but I just never do. And what better way than to just document it as lived? So you can see baby John in the background in the little mirror there. He's asleep. He knocked right out as soon as we got in the car. We just had his checkup appointment with the doctor. Everything's good. He's in the 99th percentile of like height and like 97th percentile of weight, and generally a pretty good baby, or healthy baby. And it's funny because our doctor that we just started going to today was the first time. I was asking him about like why did you become a pediatrician, and you know, he was saying that he just loves it. Like, he told me the backstory, of course, like going to school, and he went to the department and he fell in love with the practice and wanting to support people from childhood. And he said that he would do this profession again if he lived another lifetime. And I was just like, yeah, that's pretty amazing that he found his passion. Because a lot of people, I feel like, don't necessarily do their passion. And like, I'm someone that's like, I've never quite found the right like passion job, or like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this forever. And like, that can also relate to that can also be partly because of my human design type as a reflector. My human design type, if you look into human design, my human design type is I'm meant to taste and try on as many experiences of life as possible. So I feel super passionate about one thing one day, like belly dancing, and then like the next day, or like, and then, you know, the next couple months, it's like, all right, I'm on to the next thing. What about rollerblading? You know, what about, you know, graphic design? And like, I get super passionate about graphic design, and then it's like, oh, what about painting? What about human design? What about Reiki? You know, and like, I notice these passions come in, like, they fluctuate. So it's like, you know, being a reflector, it also depends on where I am and who I'm around too. So there's a lot of interesting things about human design. And there are other human design types, like generator, like you just generate your own energy and you're a producer. You do. Manifesting generators, they are also producers, but they also have like a initiation component to them. Manifestors, they initiate, they have ideas, they are constantly creating ideas, constantly working on new things, and it's a really good idea for them to partner with others to fulfill on those ideas. Maybe generators. And projectors, they are like the guides of the community, of the collective. And they're also like reflectors. Like, we don't have our own endless supply of energy, so we gotta work smarter, not harder. So that's a little summary about human design. If you have more questions or want to look into it, I highly suggest it. I've been noticing in the collective conscious, there's been a lot of people discovering human design, particularly people who are in the personal development world and conscious world, and like conscious living community and spiritual community. I think a lot of people are getting woken up to that level for a purpose. Don't know what that purpose is, but it's just fun. It's fun to learn about, you know, human design, and to kind of get it's like a personality type / energy type / astrology thing. So yeah, then there's a lot of components that build up human design. So you can go to jovianarchive.com to look up your free chart, or mind body graph, or just Google human design chart. So did not expect to go into that, but I think that's something, you know, someone might need to hear this. So look up your human design chart. It will certainly provide some answers, or at least I think it will. So yeah, we had his appointment. So back to the doctor. This is also very feminine way of describing, or not describing, feminine way of having a conversation. Like, you start with one subject, then move to another subject, then come back to that subject to bring it all together. So I was like making small talk with the doctor, getting to know him, like, where are you from? You know, well, I actually didn't work. Now where did he, like, I asked him where he studied pediatrics because he said he was in Europe. And then I was thinking, Hungary has a lot of really good universities, and they're pretty affordable, pretty cheap. And I know a lot of people go there. So I was like, where in Europe? And he goes, oh, Hungary. And I was like, oh shit, I'm Hungarian. He was like, oh, and then we started like talking in Hungarian, and he like speaks fluent Hungarian. And it's funny, after like we've been talking, you know, back and forth, and I don't speak as fluent as he does, but then when he would switch to English, he had like a Hungarian accent, but I'm pretty sure he's like Indian or Pakistani or something. I don't know exactly what it is, but his accent was like Hungarian accent, and it was like so nice. And you know, he's like, have you tried the food? Have you been there? I'm like, of course, yes. You know, my family's from Kolozsvár, which is in Cluj-Napoca, Romania. It's the same city, it's just a different translation. So we're from like Hungarian, like Székely Hungarian, which are like the original Hungarians. And I have family, my dad and my siblings and my stepmom are in Hungary, and I have a lot of family in Kolozsvár and Romania, and my grandpa, and you know, I miss my family. Like, we were talking about, you know, do we visit? Like, has he visited? Have I visited? And he said he took his kids there last year and they loved it. And it's like, yeah, it's been like 6 years since I've been. So, like, as soon as everything is able to be, you know, as soon as we're able to travel, like, I'm so going there to visit my dad, to visit my grandpa, to visit my family, and have baby John get to see the beautiful country that Hungary is. So yeah, it was such a nice, delightful surprise. Like, back to human design, which I did not see this coming, but it's like boop, boop, boop. In human design, there's this thing called your strategy. So it's like how you live your life is like how you make decisions. And if you're following your strategy and your authority, which reflectors don't have an authority, and our strategy is to wait 28 days. So like, ignore that part. But how I know that I'm living my life in alignment is when there are surprises, and I like to say that they're delightful surprises, because, you know, finding out that you owe $5,000 is not a surprise that I would like. So that's an example that didn't actually happen, knock on wood, but delightful surprises. So like, I know that I'm living in alignment when there's flow and freedom and ease. Going to the pediatrician's office, our pediatrician speaks fluent Hungarian, and we get to reminisce on different Hungarian things. And he even like told me about this band. What are they called? This band, he wrote it down. He literally was like, I was like, what is it called? How do you spell it? He literally wrote it on this like medical prescription. Boytorian, Hungarian band from the 80s. He said they're kind of like the Beatles. So I was like, perfect. Like, I'm always trying to play some Hungarian music, but Gus is like, you know, it's not really his jam. So I'm gonna play this and see if he likes that. And you know, I like to bring the culture, you know, out a little bit, and I want John to be exposed to Hungarian, and I want to speak more Hungarian to him and practice Hungarian. So if you speak Hungarian and you see me around, like, let's have some Hungarian conversations and practice and share things. And it's funny because he was like, well, have you had Hungarian food? And I'm like, yeah. And I asked him what his favorite. He goes, oh, totot kapusta. Have you had it? And I'm like, of course, that's my favorite, which is like stuffed cabbage. And it's this like delicious, you know, rolled cabbage rolls with meat and rice, and you cook them with sauerkraut and dill, and they slow cook over hours, and it's just like the typical Hungarian delicious food that you eat, especially around holidays like Christmas and like Christmas, Easter, any special occasions, or just anytime. Like, it's such a nice meal, and it's so nice to see someone else in the wild who like has been to Hungary, who has a very extensive past there, and he goes there every couple years to visit. And like, who would have thought, like, at my baby's doctor's checkup, I would run into somebody who, he's not Hungarian by blood, but he is like Hungarian by like association, I guess you could say. Like, he was there for a long time, and I was just super stoked about that. So there's a delightful surprise. There's a sign that like I'm doing something where I'm living in alignment. And you know, there might be some times where I'm not, but that's okay. Like, these moments are what have me as a reflector be like so excited by life, is when there's like these little delightful surprises that are like, here you go, there's a mirror for your life, and you're doing good. So yeah, there's a little update. I'm about to run out of time on my phone because my phone is at capacity of storage. I'm afraid to delete everything, because I did transfer all my videos and photos to a hard drive, but I'm still like hesitant to delete a lot of things. So I might do a backup of my backup and then delete everything so I can film longer things. But I have about a minute left. So I'm going to vlog some more this week. If you like these vlogs, leave me a comment. Just let me know. And if anything, like, I like looking back at these in, like, you know, in a couple years and seeing where I was in life, and you know how everything's going. So yeah, everything is going great. That eclipse, you know, these eclipses that have been going on, like, if you've been feeling crazy and like everything's like shit's hitting the fan everywhere, just breathe. Just know that we'll come out of it. Oh my gosh, the baby John, he just took a big sigh as I said, just breathe. Just breathe. Know that it'll all get better. This is all happening for a greater purpose. At least that empowers me. So take a lot of rest. Happy holidays. I love you guys, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.